my paranormal investigative equipment. So I have a few pieces here that I want to talk about. So one of the pieces, and I'm going to show you each and everything, and I'm going to show you the boxes they come in. So the first thing is this PSB 7T. It's a spirit box. This is the box it comes in. And this is basically almost like a radio, old school radio. And it allows you to communicate with any of the spirits that are around you by kind of going back and forth between the stations and using their energy through the antenna and the device to talk to any spirits that are around you. So that's one type of paranormal device that I have. Another, which is very similar, is this. It's called the Spirit Box. It's an EVP box. You can also purchase this on Amazon. And this is very similar to the other one that I had here, just a little bit smaller. Both allow you to communicate if you're doing paranormal investigations using the antenna, and they turn on. This one, though, has a rechargeable battery versus this one, which has disposable batteries. I like this one a lot better because I have an easier time when I'm doing my paranormal investigations with a rechargeable battery, because I find that the one with disposable gets depleted very quickly. So each of these, obviously, you can purchase on Amazon or other websites through Facebook for paranormal investigations. Another one of my favorite is this. It looks like kind of like the size of a little cat ball. And you can turn this on. It has a light. It lights up. As soon as you put it down, anything that kind of motion around it, spiritual motion, will activate this ball to let you know if there's any spirits around you. You can purchase these in I think a 6-pack on Amazon, and that's a great thing to have in your paranormal investigation bag as well. One of my favorites is this. It's a electromagnetic frequency device, so you can turn this on using the button here in the middle, and depending on the level of energy in the room or temperature change, this is going to light up. It's a little bit bright right now. Let me turn it off. But it's going to light up depending on how much spiritual energy is in the room. You can also purchase this through Amazon as well. It's called an electromagnetic frequency device, so it'll detect any kind of magnetic frequency around you when you're doing paranormal investigations. My favorite thing that I recently got, haven't used it yet, these are called dowsing rods. And so you can use these when you're talking to the spirits for yes or no questions. They just look like little metal rods. I think they're going to run you anywhere from like $10 to $12. You can also purchase them. I'll show you just one at a time. You can also purchase these on Amazon as well. Everything that I purchase is through a reputable buyer on, for the most part, on Amazon. Although I will say that there are some places where you can purchase on Facebook Marketplace as well if you're into doing paranormal investigations. They also have, if you look under the event page on Facebook, you can go and do paranormal investigations with other groups, and there are local meetups. I'm getting ready to go do one in October where they're going to be giving a tour of the haunted historical cemetery here in Redding, California. You have to purchase tickets in advance, and it's a nighttime tour. So I'm excited to take some of my equipment and do that. Hello, welcome. So I'm just talking, I was asked to do a little video on the few pieces of paranormal equipment that I own. If you have any paranormal equipment that you use, I'd love to know. Love to know all about it. Again, everything that I've shown can be purchased on Amazon. They have direct links from the buyers. They also, when they send out the equipment, they will send you a business card so you can purchase directly from their link. They have third-party links through Amazon as well. I kind of like this one. I do have a bigger version of this. I've kind of been in the middle of moving, so I'm not sure where the other one is. I do like that this comes with headphones, so you can actually plug it in while you're doing your investigation and hear things kind of directly in real time, because when they come through this speakerphone, it is a little bit garbled. So I don't like the small ones. I actually would say that if you're going to buy one of these kind of old school radios for paranormal investigations, I recommend the SB11. Just it's a little bit bigger, but the audio is a little bit more clear when you're doing paranormal investigations. If you can't afford the bigger one, though, I do recommend this. Let me show you the little box it comes in. It is a spirit box, and these are a little bit more reliable than any of the apps that you download on your phone. Now, that's not to say that the paranormal apps on your phone aren't legit. Some of them are, and some of them are just 100% made for fun, and they're scams. So I prefer this, which I purchased off of Amazon. I want to say it was on sale, so this only was like 20 bucks, but normally these are going to run you anywhere between $60 and up, depending on who you buy them from. And they're pretty cool. Like, I like the fact that this comes with, if you can see the back, I'm taking off, a rechargeable battery. Not a lot of them come with rechargeable batteries. The only thing I don't like is the lid doesn't really stay on this one. But I do like that the battery is rechargeable. Unlike this one, it just takes disposable batteries, and they don't last very long on paranormal investigations. So I highly recommend getting the rechargeable ones, and I'll show you the box for that one as well, because somebody asked about the box. So these are the original boxes that they come in. And then again, there's the electromagnetic frequency reader, which can pick up kind of anything in the room, and these also take disposable, but you can also buy rechargeable batteries for these, which I recommend. I don't recommend getting disposable because when you're doing paranormal investigations, the batteries get depleted very quickly. Yes. So I got asked, what are these? So these are dowsing rods. I have them in their packaging because I haven't had a chance to go out and use them yet, but they're dowsing rods. So they allow you to kind of hold them. They swing freely. And so when you're communicating with the spirits, you can ask yes or no questions. And usually if it's yes, they'll cross them. And if it's no, they'll kind of pull apart from each other. But they swing back and forth when the spirits are communicating with you. I really like my paranormal equipment. I've just kind of gotten a lot more over the years just because different devices to communicate. Recently, I was gifted this. I don't know if y'all saw this in the beginning. So it has a little button. It does turn on. So you put it on the ground, and then when there's any kind of spirit or energy near, this thing will turn on. And they can use it, light it up, and kind of talk to you. You're not going to hear them, but they can talk to you through lighting this up. And usually it will blink if they're answering your questions, which is kind of cool. Really like that. And they come in a 6-pack on Amazon. If you have any questions about the paranormal equipment, I'm happy to answer it. I don't recommend, though, for the most part, downloading the paranormal apps on your phone because a lot of them are 99.9% of the time going to be a scam. And or they'll say for entertainment purposes. So you really have to read the description. None of those companies can guarantee that the paranormal apps on your phone are going to work. So I always recommend buying the equipment. So this is going to be a really short live because it is about 3:10 p.m. here, California time. And I got to head out to go pick up my kids soon. But I just wanted to come live and share my equipment with you. If you have any questions, you can take the time to ask me, or if you have any other questions. I know I get a lot of questions about your chakras and your third eye. So if anybody wants to have any questions answered, you can let me know down here in the live stream because I can see everything right now. But our signal is going in and out just because the weather is kind of sketch here right now. It's been kind of really windy. As I said in my last live, we've had several power shutoffs from PG&E because of the wildfires in our area and the high winds and it being really dry. So hopefully my live won't be disrupted. But yeah, I will take the time to open up the live if anybody wants to ask any questions. I had somebody asking some questions earlier about higher ascension, which I thought was kind of interesting. I do believe in higher ascension, and I don't mean in religious senses. I mean like opening your third eye, balancing your chakras, things like that. When I say higher ascension, it's like opening your third eye to kind of the energy and the auras around you. So yes, I do share similar beliefs to some of the people in the comments. I believe that it is very, very important to kind of take time for yourself and to meditate, reflect on, the day's events or the past week's events so that you don't block your third eye. I am curious though why you chose the name Chicken as your username. It kind of cracks me up. Get up here on my computer and pull up something that I wanted to share with you guys in the live. I love when the internet is slow. If you have Spectrum internet, you know what I'm talking about. Like half the month it'll work and the other half it will not work. Almost not even worth having. Does anyone in the comments meditate or believe in higher ascension? I know that was one of the topics that we left off on in one of our last feeds, and I got a lot of different kind of open-minded opinions about that, and I'd like to hear what everyone thinks about that. For those of you who don't know, I'm just going to read a little blurb because someone said they didn't know what I was talking about. So in various spiritual traditions, the third eye, which is right here, the pineal gland, chakra is associated with higher consciousness and spiritual awakening, often linked to accessing higher dimensions and divine guidance. It's believed to be a gateway to enlighten inner wisdom and the ability to perceive beyond the physical world. Activating or opening the third eye is thought to enhance intuition, psychic abilities, and a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. So for the person who asked me that, hopefully that kind of answers your question. And what I mean by that is psychic abilities are like being able to kind of intuitively know things that one wouldn't possibly know before they happen, or just even events in your own life, like the ability to tap into something like you've had a premonition of it happening before it happens. So people who have their third eye open and they meditate and they've like ascended to higher ascension, they have the ability to know things before they're going to happen, whether it's in their own life or whether it's catastrophic events like worldwide. And I don't mean we're time travelers. I just mean we intuitively know things because our chakras aren't blocked. Our pineal gland, our third eye, is open, so we have the ability to know things before they were going to happen. I'll give you an example. I have some minor psychic abilities, and I told my mom about September 11th, 2001 before it was going to happen. And I, like, in great detail, described it, and she didn't believe me. And she was due to go on a flight because she's a claims adjuster, and they were going to have some kind of like convention for people who do insurance. And I told her that she should not go. And I told her about how the airplane was going to crash into the World Trade Center and a lot of people were going to die, and that she should cancel her flight. And like, she thought I was just kind of being paranoid. And about 15-20 minutes before she was about to leave to go to the airport, it ended up being that her flight got canceled, and it was on the news, like all over, everywhere. The planes crashing into the World Trade Center, the smoke, people, dying, the planes being hijacked. And I, in great detail, described this to my mom, like not even 2 days before this event happened. And she wanted to know how I knew that was going to happen. And I just knew. I pay attention, and I'm a very intuitive person, and I pick up on things, and I just knew. But in great detail, I described this event to her, and to this day, she's kind of pretty happy that she didn't go on this flight for this convention for claims adjusters, because she would have died. She would have died back in 2001 when the World Trade Center got crashed into. So some people like know about things like that, and some people just know about really basic things, you know? Um, I can also see, you know, like sometimes when people die and they're really close to other people, I can see the spiritual energy of their loved ones or spirits around them. As crazy as that might sound, like my cat's been dead, gosh, now like 20 something plus years, and I still see the spirit of my cat hanging around. He's happy. He's a chill old cat, but his spirit still hangs around because, you know, they know that you miss them and they're here and they can't cross over. So I still see the spirit of my cat every once in a while. I'm about to do an investigation this week to try to make contact um, and have a conversation. We have an entity that lives in our apartment of this old lady that died. Like I was describing before, she wears glasses like almost like a bifocal, and she has white hair, and she wears this white nightie with purple flowers on it, and with a little cane, and the spirit just walks back and forth, and she'll watch me cook in my apartment. Sometimes she'll watch me sleep, but yeah, we have this little old lady, and her spirit is really attached to this apartment. I think from what I understand is that she died here. She just peacefully passed away in her sleep, and she kind of hangs out in our apartment. Um, and she's absolutely harmless, but I really enjoy her company. Hello, hello, welcome. I think a lot of times it's not necessarily just somebody dying in a place to where their energy is still there. People can be really attached to places, and there's a lot of history. So spirits can maintain their energy in places for a number of different reasons. I'm good. How are you doing? Um, have you had your own encounter that maybe opened up your eyes? A lot of people will laugh at people who say they can see spirits and ghosts until they actually experience something for themselves, and then they don't think it's so silly anymore. I've just seen a lot of different things. I mean, my first spiritual encounter with a spirit of somebody who died was my grandma. I actually saw her spirit about 24 hours after she had passed. I seen her roaming around my grandpa's house, and my grandpa could see her too. And he said that it was a gift. Not everybody can see spirits. And some people will think that you are, you know, crazy, but you're not crazy. Sometimes I can see spirits to the point where when they manifest themselves, they look like they're a real person like you or me, but they are not. They are absolutely 100% not. But it depends on um the strength in their energy when they manifest themselves, how attached they were to the places where you see them at. If there's a high level of their energy or a high level of attachment, yeah, they can appear human and have conversations with us. And they can look real, and they're not. It's just they're almost like astral projection. Um, like I'll see my cat. And like I said, my cat's 20 something plus years now been passed, and so is my rabbit. And I'll see them walking around, hopping around my apartment, and they'll look real as day, but they're not. Um, what do you mean by that? So yeah, sometimes when you see sea spirits, it might be a blip of smoke, a shape of like something white out of the corner of your eye. It could be like just an orb that zips across the room. It might even not necessarily be an outline of a person at all. It could be hearing laughter or hearing voices talk. When I see spirits, I don't always see an outline. I don't always see a person. Sometimes I'll just see light zip past me, or I'll see a puff of like black smoke, or shadow people, or orbs of light. It's not necessarily like a person that I'm talking to, or I'll just see something really quick out of the corner of my eye. And yes, some of them are good and some of them just live around to terrorize people. So I have to be careful what I'm talking to, because they can manifest themselves as somebody that you love and not actually be that person. It can be like a darker entity. So you really have to be careful what you're making contact with, because they can be tricksters. They can be very, what's the word? Manipulative. Spirits are good about doing that. They're good about manipulating people. Um, yeah, so there is a difference between, I'm sorry, I was just reading your comment. There is a difference between sleep paralysis demons and actual demons or spiritual entities. Sleep paralysis demons are literally from not sleeping. And it's your brain's way of kind of communicating to you that you're not getting enough sleep. But those aren't actually real. Those are what we see when our brain isn't functioning from sleeping. Actual spiritual entities, totally different. Like a lot of people believe, and I'm kind of 50-50 on this, that the Hat Man is a sleep paralysis demon. I'm 50-50 because people see him when they don't get enough sleep as a result of hallucinations, due to insomnia. And then some people see him whether they have insomnia or haven't slept or not, or if they even if they get enough sleep, they see him. I have seen the Hat Man, and um, I don't have insomnia. I do have sleep issues, but I don't have insomnia. And I've definitely seen the Hat Man, whether I get sleep or miss sleep. Yeah, depending on how strong their energy is, it is possible to get them on camera, even infrared. Um, that is possible. Is this a family member of yours that died of leukemia? That's that's really unfortunate. I used to work at a daycare where I volunteered a lot after school in middle school, and one of the daycares, his son, Jackson, I think it was, he missed all of like first grade and I think part of second grade because he ended up getting sick one day, and they found out that he had leukemia of the blood. And so they were doing a bunch of fundraisers, and he's in remission and doing better now, but that can be really difficult to deal with. So yeah, everybody has a different sleep paralysis demon, and they look different to everybody depending on, I think it's a little bit to do with like fear, like what you're afraid of. Like when I don't get enough sleep, and then I start having issues with insomnia if I don't sleep like 3-4 days because of stress. Um, my sleep paralysis demon looks like a combination between a clown and like an evil menacing leprechaun that wears, a hat and rides around on a little bicycle wielding a chainsaw. So yeah, everybody's sleep paralysis demon looks a little bit different, and some of them are even common, like the Babadook. That's scary. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry for your loss. I think I'd freak out too. If I saw something and I wasn't like expecting to see that, I'd freak out too. Um, like I said, I've had several different encounters with just different things over the years. Before I moved back to California, I lived in a house that was extremely haunted, and all kinds of things happened, from pictures projecting themselves off the wall to um, a fire extinguisher breaking my foot, um, falling down a set of 19 steps in my basement because we just had just different spirits that had taken over this house that we lived in. Even the Catholic Church actually refused to sage the last house I lived in because they didn't want to deal with it. We're the same age. Hmm. It is really hot here today. So yes, if you have a strong connection with somebody in life, you will also have a strong spiritual connection in death. And it's possible, if you're saying that this person is not gone, their like energy is not gone, their spiritual energy, it's possible that there's something that they want to tell you. And that's why they're not gone. They're hanging around to try and tell you whatever it is that they need to tell you before they can cross over. So cats aren't staring into nothingness. Cats are they're like our, almost like our spiritual guides. Cats can see all kinds of spirits, even if we can't. Anything. They can see anything that we can't see. What, the other day my cat was staring at the wall, and then at first I didn't see anything, and then all of a sudden a shadow moved on the wall, and there was nothing there to cause it. And then when I looked again, it was the spirit of the old lady that inhabits our apartment, and her spirit was walking down the hallway, and my cat was looking at her. Huntington Beach, yes, I love Huntington Beach. I actually live in Northern California, but yes, the weather here is just awful. It's supposed to get up to 120 degrees this weekend. Right now it's, I think, about 95 outside. We get fires here all the time in this area that I live. So we always have to be careful. We always have to have an emergency bag ready to go because we never know how close the fire is going to get to us. So it's very, very hard. Well, it's not very hard. You can edit videos and do a lot of CGI, but when there is a spiritual connection or something that you've caught on camera, it is almost hard to edit things like that unless you really are familiar with CGI. And even then, when you do it, it's very noticeable because there are very noticeable glitches in cameras or in the video when you go to edit it or add stuff in. Like if you've ever seen Mr. Beast videos, he does a lot of CGI and editing, which is not cool. Like, I mean, if you're gonna make a video and you're gonna say it's real, don't CGI your video. Don't do computer animation in your video. I've seen a lot of videos where people have seen skinwalkers and fairies and things like that on video, and I 100% believe them. You know, we are not the only life on this planet. And to say that, aliens don't exist, or that fairies don't exist, or that spiritual entities, demons don't exist, no, no, that's BS. Yeah, I try to keep it real. Um, as real as, as real as I can be. But yeah, just because if you haven't seen nothing yet doesn't mean you won't. I've been to several places where I haven't seen stuff, but I felt the spiritual energy in the places. Like a lot of the older places that you'll go visit, even museums, they have a lot of energy in them and around the artifacts. And I'll see strange things happen that nobody else will see. It's just a matter of how in tune you are with um, the energy around you. Even objects possess their own energy. Consciousness goes when our bodies go cold. So it depends. When you die, your whole life, obviously I've never died, but your whole life flashes before your eyes, and you see like just everything, everything that's happened in your life. You see it, and you kind of think about that. So there still is some conscious activity in your brain even when you're dying. But I do believe when people die, if they haven't said what they needed to say to you, they're going to hang around for however long they want to hang around until they get their business taken care of. Whether that's something that they have to tell you, if they buried something and they want you to find it, such as, money, or there's like a secret door in a house, or whatever it is that they want to tell you, they're going to hang around until that's resolved, and until they can cross over. And now, that's not to say that if they cross over necessarily that they're going to go to heaven. There are two roads that you can go down when you die, and one is you can go to that yellow brick road if you're religious, or you'll go left and there's going to be the soul catcher, which is the person who's basically ready to drag you to hell, depending on the type of life you've lived. Some people call him the Reaper. Some people call him the Soul Catcher. I believe that the spirits of my animals hang around because I think that they know that I miss them. And even though time has gone by, I've never really gotten over that loss. I think that's probably why, like, even though I have my 2 cats, I've never even adopted another dog because I've never gotten over the loss of him. So when people die, their physical body leaves this world, but their spiritual body stays here until they're done with what they need to do. It takes a lot of spiritual energy to make contact with the human world, and to get what they're trying to say across to you. And sometimes people, spirits just like to play a good joke. Sometimes they don't have anything to say. Sometimes they just want to play a joke. Some spirits are really playful. So if you live in fear of demons or spirits or whatever, the negativity around that, the bad ones feed off of that. They use that fear to paralyze you, essentially, whether it's physically, spiritually, or mentally. Negativity and demonic energy, poltergeist, like shadow people, whatever you want to call them, the dark ones feed off of that fear and that bad energy that you have. I say that because when we lived in our property that was built in 1810, my husband and I had a problem with being possessed by the entities in our house. There was both good and bad entities in our house. The house has a lot of history that we used to live in, and we actually had to go to somebody and be saged and take up I think it's Saint Michael's prayer and the our daily bread prayer, and we had to go through a lot of, like, I wouldn't say exorcism, but similar to exorcisms, and it took about like 6 months for us to be free of this dark energy that had taken hold of me and my husband. Yeah, there's a lot of old houses in Lorain County, which is in Ohio. They actually sold the house again this year in January. They wanted to sell it to us, but I didn't want nothing to do with the energy that was in that house. Just several bad things happened in that house, from murder of a dog to a murder of a person who lived there, a car accident in front of the house, just person fell down the steps and died in the basement, just several different things. So I wanted no part of buying that house. They sold it for like $71K. It's a lot if you think about it. Even if I had $71K, I would not ever have bought this property. Now, that's not to say, because I always wanted to live in a house that was inhabited by spiritual energy. I always thought it would be kind of interesting and fun. That's not to say that I wouldn't go on to live in other houses that are inhabited by spirits, just not anything of negative energy. But you're never really going to know unless you're like an empath and you can like kind of feel out the different energies. You're never going to know what's in a house until you really start living there. What'd you say about Florida? Sounds like something that occurs in Florida home on a Monday morning. You crack me up. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in Florida. Do you live in Florida? There was just a story recently. Well, I wouldn't say recently. I mean, when I read stories, to me, they sound recent, but it was like 2023 or something like that. And there was a story about a guy that he got caught. And I swear, I think that this is a fake story because I've not been able to find it anywhere else. But the guy got caught humping his neighbor's dog, and the neighbor came out and said something to him. But people do weird stuff all over. It ain't just Florida. There was a lady that got pulled over by the police, not paranormal. She got pulled over by the police, and I guess she had a bench warrant out for her arrest or whatever. So they took her car and everything, and then when they pulled her over, she had a pet raccoon in the car, and pet raccoon was hitting her meth pipe. And the cop was laughing about it. And he even said, oh, you know, something weird like this would only happen in Florida, but it was like Ohio. And the raccoon was hitting the meth pipe. So they had to call animal control, and then this lady ended up getting arrested. But crazy stuff happens all over. You never know what's going to make the news. But what makes you think that this spirit is the spiritual energy of your friend that died? What makes you think that this energy is your friend's energy hanging around? So we are going to go ahead and wrap up this live pretty soon because, like I said, I do have to go get my kids from camp. I am going to try to do another live this week. We will be doing a live from San Francisco. If anyone's been to San Francisco or would like to know more about that, we're going to be doing a live this weekend. I'm going to be going down to the city to have a little getaway after, you know, being sick for a month and a half. It's time to have a little vacation. So we're going to be going to the city, and I'll be seeing what there is to kind of see down there. There's a lot of things to explore if you haven't been to San Francisco. And not just like cool haunted cemeteries, but like there's like a lot of really cool, interesting touristy things to see in the city as well. So I will be doing a live probably on Saturday from the Bay Area. And if you follow us, we're also on Snapchat. So I do lives on Snapchat as well. You can follow us, MiaMoore21 on Snapchat. Oh, you know, I always have the running joke. You crack me up. You can't wait to die so you can haunt people through the walls. I always say that, you know, I'm going to be that one old lady that puts vodka in all the IV bags at the nursing homes, and we're all just going to have a reckless good time. And then when I die, I have a list of everybody that did me wrong, and I'm going to haunt all of you. I mean, why not? Why not come through the walls, rattle everyone's, you know, teacups and bang open cupboards? Why not? Why not come back and haunt people? It could be kind of fun, you know? Why not? Could be very amusing. No, I promise you that I will come back and haunt everyone that did me wrong. I'm gonna come and make your pull back their curtains while you're showering, and then wave them back and forth, and then I'm gonna run through your house and make things float. I'm gonna be that ghost that makes you go, I'm scared. No, I don't have a single bad bone in my body. People can wrong me and I just turn the other cheek, but it would be kind of fun to come back and haunt people, in all seriousness. Because I always thought about flying. I mean, when you're a ghost, that's as close as you're going to get to like flying or levitating, you know, like something straight out of Harry Potter. I'm sure everyone at least once has thought about, you know, flying or haunting people or having some cool magical power where you could do something cool. Ghosts get to do lots of cool shit. I want to be able to do something cool, like make an object float. And I don't mean no fake magic stuff like on strings. I mean actually sitting there and making an object float or going through a wall and scaring somebody. Could be fun. Who's with me? We ride at dawn. Just trying to see your comment. Looks like it. The comment froze. Who else in the comments has thought about coming back and haunting somebody? There's a long-standing joke, and I keep seeing the meme shared on Facebook that says, I have a list of all the people I'm going to come back and haunt. If I did have a list, it would be long. It would be very long. I don't know. I guess ultimately what I'm saying is, yeah, you can see spirits for a number of different reasons. You don't even have to be necessarily psychic, you know. I lived in the US for a while, but now I'm back in Germany. I heard your question and then it turned off. Oh, Germany. I have not been there. That is on my bucket list of places to go before I die. I want to see the giant baby eating statue that they have in Germany. I know that sounds grotesque, but I've heard they have a giant statue where the giant's like holding a baby upside down and eating it. I've seen some pictures on online, and that seems kind of interesting. They also have some really cool art pieces if you're into architecture. I personally have never lived there, but I have had family that is both from Switzerland and Germany. We still have some family that lives back in Germany. Let me see if I can tell you what it's called. I might actually have a picture saved on my computer. I came across it on this app called Pinterest, which is because I'm always looking up places to travel, and usually Pinterest is my go-to thing for like sneaking off on expeditions to abandoned locations that you're not supposed to go to, because who does everything that they're not supposed to do? Me. 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 You tell me not to do it, I'll do it, take pictures and make a video of it, because that's just me. I've never been really one to follow rules. I do whatever I want. Let me know if anyone in the comments does that. I'm curious. Okay, come on, computer, work with me. Okay, yes, okay, so let's see if I can click on this and show you. It's actually kind of a grotesque looking statue. I'm surprised it's a thing, but look at this. That is the German baby eating statue. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's kind of, it's interesting. I don't know why it's so interesting. I guess it's kind of one of those things that it's like, it's got the good, the bad, the ugly, all rolled into one. It's a very intriguing piece. I don't really know what the backstory is on that statue. Oh, the cathedral. I like looking at different architectural buildings. I like to photograph them, especially older ones. Let's see if I can pull up where it says the location is. I have this saved on my like bucket list. I don't know why. I don't know when I'm going to get to Germany, but I will eventually get to Germany, just like I will get to Australia. That's on my bucket list, because who doesn't want to sit on the beach with kangaroos? Yes. Ideal date night, sitting on the beach, picnicking, while sunbathing with kangaroos. That sounds like a fun date night. Random, but fun. Oops. My brain is having a glitch. I can't spell today. Let's see if it'll tell me where this is. Okay. Well, okay. It says it's located in Berlin, Germany. The baby eating statue. Just such an odd name, though. I guess it says it's nearby. There's a the Berlin Cathedral Museum Island for. Interesting. So I guess there's like a cathedral museum near this statue. That's a Swiss statue. Why does it say it's in Berlin, Germany then? Yeah, it's not coming up as being in Switzerland. That's weird. Oh, there is. Okay. So are there like two different statues? Because I'm like looking at this picture and it looks like, unless I'm mistaken, unless it's just the same picture from different angles, it looks like there are two different variations of this statue. Have you been to this statue? Okay, I'm gonna try and Google what you just said. I'm glad you spelled that, because my brain is like, spell what right now? Guess it would be nice if I not forget letters and what you're saying. Huh. How do you say that? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. That is definitely going to go on my places to visit. I have to get first get my passport because I guess they're changing everything about travel from the United States to like traveling outside of the United States. So now you have to have this this VS like real ID thing, which is basically a more expensive version of your driver's license, and the only thing is it has a bear on it and like some star or whatever. So it's a more updated version of your driver's license, and they basically verify who you are. So this is going to be interesting. I haven't traveled in a while, and I'm getting ready to travel next month, just within the United States. But they literally make you show your real ID, and then they make you stand in front of a machine that takes your picture to verify you are who you say you are, which is just wild. I don't know what the process is yet for when you have your passport, but that'll be interesting to go through that as well. It means child eating well. Oh, that's the translation. You've never heard of this statue until today. You know, I have never heard of it until I looked on Pinterest. If you don't know what that is, you go in the like Google Play Store on your Apple or Android phone. Just download the app. It's kind of cool. You can personalize the app to kind of have it be whatever you want it to show you. I like it because it kind of gives me ideas on like photo options, like for how to take better photos of places where I'm at, and little photo tricks, and also like places to explore because I'm always out exploring. Interesting. Well, I appreciate you breaking that down for me. Yeah, I don't speak any German, so that is interesting. So, is English first language or second language? Or is it German? German first language, English second language. I love Pinterest. So many awesome ideas on Pinterest. Not a lot of people know what I'm talking about when I say Pinterest. They're like, what's that? But I find it to be extremely useful, to be honest. Reading everyone's comments really quick. So what's everyone up to today? It's about 3:53 here in the afternoon. Someone was on talking last night. It was like, they were telling me it was like 10:30 at night, and it was only like 12 o'clock in the afternoon here. I think that they were from like Iraq or something. So vastly different time zone. So you're in Germany, so what time is it there? I'm assuming that you guys are like either like well into the night, since it's almost 4 o'clock here. German is my first language, but I learned English from a young age and have been all over the world making music, traveling, working, exploring. Oh, that sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you enjoy traveling? What kind of music do you do? Oh, 1 a.m. Oh goodness. Are you just getting off work or something? What are you doing up so late? 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, usually when I can't fall asleep, I'll be up that late. Metal music. So like heavy metal music, like dark heavy metal music, like, or what? Like Slipknot type stuff? Or like heavy metal more like Rammstein? Huh. Why is the comment freezing? I'm just trying to read your comment. It just froze. I listen to a lot of old school music, but I listen to a lot of metal. Currently, my favorite band is Rammstein. I like their song, Du hast me. Tell me if I'm saying that right. I was trying to read your comment and your comment froze. It says, now I'm in an anonymous band for a few years. Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. Readjusting my camera. There we go. Oh, so you do a little bit of everything, but it's mainly metal. Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. I like a variety of music. Like I used to be really into kind of classical, now not so much. Don't you love autocorrect? Like I'll say, if I get like really excited, I'll say the F word and it'll change it to duck. Gosh darn autocorrect. Get it right. I hate autocorrect, like especially if I'm doing voice text. So when I'm talking and instead of, I'm lazy, so I will voice text somebody instead of regularly like texting them because I'm lazy, and it will change everything I say to whatever it thinks I'm trying to say. I hate that. Yeah, being famous isn't all it's cracked out to be. I know a few people that are famous, and they even say it's not all it's cracked out to be, because you end up being in this cycle of debt that no one talks about within the music industry, or you end up owing people money, or you've got people, conspiracy theorist people who think that you're, and if you don't know what I mean by this next part, you're going to want to look it up. They think that everybody is a lizard person in the music industry or in the acting community. Like there are hella people that think Justin Bieber is a lizard person, which is really odd. He doesn't look anything like a lizard person. But then what do I know? Excuse me, I'm like getting over being sick. Well, yeah, thank you for tuning in. It was nice chatting with you. Hopefully you have a good night, or I should say good morning, since it's 1 a.m. there. Hopefully I'll see you in our next live. Yeah, I got the, I ended up, I'm kind of feeling better, but I got that new strand of, which causes my nose to run and eyes to water and everything. I got that new strand of COVID. And so whenever you eat something, it just feels like you're swallowing shards of glass. And it's just been annoying. I've been sick for like a month and a half. So the 4 rounds of laryngitis and then strep throat turned into a sinus infection, and then it turned into that new strand of COVID. So luckily I'm at the tail end of this stupid cold, this conundrum that I've been in for a month and a half. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. You're awesome. Drink warm beer. Like tea, German trick. Interesting. I actually don't drink. And that might be shocking. Yeah, I stopped drinking a long time ago. Like, I'm 36 and I stopped drinking. I haven't had anything to drink in like 15 years. I drink a lot of tea though. I drink a lot of tea, but I don't drink beer. I don't drink wine anymore. I don't know, just stuff has no flavor. Maybe I need to travel and try something in a different country. I am curious though, if you're still on, what is your profile picture supposed to be? It kind of almost looks like Spider-Man, but it's hard to tell. I like that. I'm gonna have to read up on that, what you just said. I've never heard of that. Is that anything like when they say to dip like a pacifier, you know, in, I think it's either vodka or tequila, and then like you give it to a baby for like if they won't stop crying for like because they're teething or whatever? Is it anything like that? I've heard of people doing that. I don't recommend that, but I've heard of people doing that. Excuse me. It's nothing special. It's just a regular little plastic-free water bottle that's got all my stickers on it. I'm obsessed with coffee, probably too much for my own good. So it's just got a bunch of Dutch Brothers stickers on it because I'm obsessed. Shout out to Dutch Brothers for always making my coffee a little extra. I like them blended. I like them hot. You know, I like my coffee like I like my men hot. And you can quote me on that one. So what's everyone else up to? Anyone got any plans for this weekend? We're basically halfway to the week. Happy hump day, everyone. It's Wednesday. No one says that anymore. Remember that commercial with the camel that where he would say, "Hey, it's hump day, everybody." And every like Wednesday, I swear that commercial would show up on TV. I never really understood that commercial and I always laughed at it because it was stupid as hell. But it's those stupid things that stay with you. I feel like that was like a 90s commercial, maybe early 2000s commercial, and they don't even do that anymore. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember that commercial at all? I guess they don't call it hump day anymore. They just call it Wednesday. Sounds more appropriate. Yeah, but I'm going to put this baby eating statue on my list as soon as I get my passport because I think that would be kind of interesting to check this out and kind of see what else is in Germany. What's everyone else up to? So we were talking about, if you missed earlier, for anyone who's just joining us, we were talking about all the different types of paranormal equipment that I own and telling you a little bit about what each piece does. And then a couple encounters with the paranormal that I've had, different things like that, and what people have seen or not seen with the paranormal. So that's just like a small recap. If anybody would like me to recap and show you any of the paranormal equipment that you might have missed earlier in the video, just let me know in the comments and I'll show it to you. It's all out here on the table still. Some people are watching from in the United States, and it looks like some people are watching from Germany. That's kind of cool. I always have a different crowd of people on every single day. I love it. So yeah, to answer one of the person's questions that looked like they just jumped off. Yeah, we're getting ready to go next month to Ohio. There's a couple haunted locations that I'm going to be checking out. And I hope to do a bunch of lives while we're there. We're going to be there for about a week. So that'll be fun. I do collaborative meetups if anybody's in the area and would like to do a collaborative meetup. But here in a couple minutes, I'm going to be getting off because I got to go pick up the kiddos from day camp. Well, I can't call it summer camp because it's not like a all summer long thing. It's just they go during the day, and each week has a different theme. It's kind of fun. I haven't been to a camp in a long time. Okay, so I'm going to show that. I'll show it again, yeah. So I have this, I put it back in the styrofoam, but these are dowsing rods. So you hold them, one in each hand, like this, and then you can ask a question to the spirit that's present. Usually when it crosses, yes means, this means yes, and then when it's open, that means no. And it's just another way to communicate with the spirits that are around you. Again, you can purchase those on Amazon. Just look up dowsing rods. Mine are copper, but you can get them in stainless steel and other colors as well on Amazon. They're pretty cool. I've had a lot recently. I used them for about the first time about a week ago, and I actually had a lot of good communication with the spiritual entity that resides in our apartment. So that was kind of a lot of fun using those. I got a lot of yeses and a lot of nos from the old lady, the spirit of the old lady that lives in our apartment. And then there's this one. So these two are kind of the same thing. There's like 3 different variations of these. There's the smaller one, this more square one, and then they also have, like I said, a PSB 11. Now these ones do take disposable, but I recommend getting rechargeable batteries and their communication devices to communicate with the spiritual realm or spiritual energy around you. Same thing, but this one has a rechargeable battery in the back. They basically essentially are like old school radios, and if you know how to use them, you can communicate with spirits around you. I really like them. I take them on every single paranormal investigation that I go on. We're about to go on a big one here in October. You got to buy tickets. It's a nighttime tour of a haunted historical cemetery in our area. I'm interested to see what I'm going to find out because there's so much history behind this cemetery. I've actually seen there's a spirit of this guy. I don't know what the story is on him, but I've seen him and he wears like a little bowler hat. If you don't know what that is, look it up. They're pretty interesting. They're vintage style hats, and he wears a suit, and I've seen him like in the cemetery, and at first I thought he was a real person, and then I realized he was like a spirit of a person who had died and was buried in this cemetery. And so by using this device, I was able to communicate with him and found out that his name was Mr. Andrews, and that he used to work in the town a long time ago. There used to be a mining town here in Reading, and he used to be a part of the mining community. So I learned a little bit about this spirit. Another one of the devices that I recommend is this. It's an electromagnetic frequency finder. So it'll find anything that's around you, and it will, sorry, it's a little bright. It will light up depending on what is around you. Whether the temperature changes and whatnot. So I recommend getting one of these as well. Anytime there's a temperature drop, it's going to signify on here with the different lights. I think I paid like 10 bucks on Amazon for it. It's a pretty cool find. And then there's this. So these have a little button on the top. Lights up when you place it down with wherever you're trying to communicate with or get a reading with. Takes about, I think, 8 seconds to go off after you turned on. And then anything that's around it, like motion-wise, will set this thing off so you can get yes or no answers when you're trying to communicate. Obviously, it's in my hand, so it knows, so it's not going to go off. But if you're talking to spirits, it will. I actually got a good reading. You should check out my recent investigative video of the Baby Pioneer headstone. I got an EVP reading, and I used this in my EVP session that I had with the headstone and the energy that was surrounding that. And it was very clear, a lot of the feedback that I got. A lot of people do not think that these devices work, but they do. And they're 100% reliable versus the BS that you download on your phone in the App Store. Most of those are a scam. I'm just going to say that. Most of those are a scam, and they're for entertainment purposes, and they'll tell you that they work, but if you read the reviews, they actually don't work. And it's a lot of regurgitated like words over and over, or the same names over and over. Whereas if you have your investigative equipment, it's not going to say the same names, and you're going to be able to hear everything a little bit more clear versus maybe like the 200 words that are programmed into the paranormal investigative apps that you can download on your phone that might cost $10, $20 or more, or a monthly subscription. Your equipment doesn't require a monthly subscription. You just purchase it and that's it. Everything that I have shown you, that I've gone over, you can purchase on Amazon. They also send out a business card for you to purchase right through their link, or they have third-party links on Amazon for that as well. So if anyone is interested in buying paranormal equipment, Amazon is the place to buy that. Also, if you go on Facebook and you search paranormal equipment, there are groups on Facebook that can get you started on paranormal equipment as well if you are wanting to take steps to the journey of being a paranormal investigator. I, though, personally recommend Amazon because it is a money-back guarantee if your devices don't show up in Facebook. There is no guarantee that you'll get a refund if you're purchasing from those groups. Nor is there a guarantee that the devices you're purchasing from Facebook will actually work. I like Amazon. Amazon is very, very, very reliable. And there are even, if you live in Florida, there are even some groups in Florida that sell paranormal investigative equipment as well. They're actually like large companies. So just keep that in mind for whatever city, state, or country you live in. Most places have their own business for purchasing paranormal equipment, or you can rent it depending on what tours you're going on. Some of the tours you can rent paranormal equipment or use it for the day. Sometimes they'll charge you, sometimes they won't. I'm getting ready to go on a set up a tour. It's like $20. And you can take a group of like 2 or 3 people, and I'm going to be touring one of these old hospitals or sanatoriums in Ohio. So I'm pretty interested to see what I'm going to find. One of them is going to be a private tour of the Molly Stork Sanatorium. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go on to Google and look it up. It has a lot of history. I'm pretty excited about that. There are a lot of interesting haunted locations in Ohio. Your comment froze. Oh, shoot, your comment froze. Our internet seems to be lagging. Like I said, PG&E keeps shutting crap off out here because of the high winds and it being dry, and we're in our fire season right now, so our signal is a little delayed. So if I'm lagging, let me know in the comments, because on my end it says that that my signal's not there. So if anybody would like to know, I'm happy to share a little bit of information about the Molly Stork Sanatorium, or Sanatorium, if you're interested in paranormal investigations. It's a really interesting place. I think I saw it first on YouTube, and then I've seen a little bit mentioned about it on Pinterest. So if anybody would like to know, let me know. course I spelled that wrong. I hate that when you have like a glitch and like you're trying to spell something and then all of a sudden you can't spell it because you lost your train of thought. But it's a very interesting place with a lot of history. They do have up no trespassing signs, so because it is kind of like an old building, I wouldn't say it's super dilapidated, but it's been sitting there for a while. But you can talk to people and you can get private tours. And this is, like I said, this is in Ohio. So it's one of those things that has to be planned in advance, way in advance, because you're asking for a private tour of an older building. Last I heard, they were going to be turning it into something else, and then I haven't heard anything about it. Like they were going to turn it into a parking garage or something, but who knows? As far as I'm aware of, it's still standing, and it's just a historical building that's fenced off. Doesn't want to show it. I was going to show you guys an image of this place. It's really it's an interesting place if you're into looking at abandoned locations. It's an interesting place. Let's see if I can get this picture to pull up. Okay, look at that. That's what it looks like. It's a really cool location in Ohio. Now, I've heard from a lot of different people that patients have died at this hospital, just bad nurses, doctors, bad care. Each state has its own history on different things like that. It's sad. Just trying to see if I can tell you something about this place. Like I said, my internet is being super slow right now. So this place is old. This place was built in 1951. That's crazy. The fact that it's still standing is crazy. They closed their door in the early 90s because of funding, and they weren't up to code on healthcare regulations. But they made efforts to preserve it in 2011 as a legacy with community contributions. So they've been trying to like kind of preserve the building, but it's not used anymore, but you can go and get tours with special permission. So I would add that to your list of places as far as paranormal investigations go. I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I got to go and get my kids. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Rock on. See y'all in our next video. Bye.